Hi and welcome to my review of The Goodies, the complete BBC collection. Today we are up to The End. Architect Graeme is commissioned to plan the redevelopment of Kew Gardens as a bunch of concrete skyscrapers. But when the construction traps the boys in their office under a 350-foot block of concrete, they are trapped together for 75 years. Can they survive being trapped? And can they survive being trapped with each other? Some highlights of this episode that I enjoyed included Bill shooting at a bird. It's quite in contrast to his later image as a bird watcher and conservationist. I did love the bit where Graeme spells his own name wrong when Tim is giving him dictation. One of the biggest highlights of this episode for me was the Goodies panicking when they realise what's in store for them. I also loved the scene of Tim and Bill drunk. I think this is something we very rarely see in the show. And I really love the bit of a drunk and gushing Tim annoying Graeme. And interestingly, these scenes contain the line, "He's pissed," which is one of the few swears I remember in the show. Now, Bill's purple or mauve Goodie shirt in this episode is fabulous. It is such a cool shirt. We've seen Bill and Tim fighting in some of the other episodes, but I think this is really their most heated fight. I always do enjoy their fights. Another highlight that gets a really big cheer from the audience is Bill smashing Tim's record of Land of Hope and Glory, but it doesn't stop Tim giving a speech. Another bit that I loved and which always stuck in my mind was the scene in which Tim is yearning for a son and asks Graeme as a doctor if he can do anything. I also really had a good chuckle at Bill's suggestion to Tim that they should become bachelors gay while they're trapped under the concrete. And of course, another highlight of this one is we get to glimpse the future Goodies, a sort of Goodies the next generation, in which Graeme is inexplicably Vulcan-like Mr. Spock. This episode's guest stars are two familiar faces, or one familiar face and one familiar voice, Corbet Woodall as the newsreader and Sheila Steafel returning to do the voice of the Queen once again. Now, this episode is funny, but really I think it's the audacious concept that steals the show in this one. And it does take the story almost into the realm of science fiction. As I mentioned before, we do glimpse the Goodies of the future in this one. For me, this episode was always on that sort of knife edge between funny and unsettling. I always felt a bit uneasy about it when I was little watching it, I think because I worried that it was like the final episode ever of the show. And of course, watching it now during the pandemic, it does have that extra dimension of them almost being in a sort of lockdown. There's a sort of weirdly grim finality about this story, alongside the cartoonish and surreal gags. It does kind of have the feel of the ending of a series, and in some ways it did remind me weirdly of the very grim finale of Blake 7, although the appearance of the future Goodies puts paid to any fears of that. All in all, I found this episode more interesting and impressive than hilariously funny. I enjoyed it very much, but I think what I enjoyed most about it was the concept and the way the boys use the situation of themselves being trapped and nothing else, just to make a half hour of comedy out of that. So here we are at the end of season 5, and what an amazing season 5 is. So many strong stories, so many classic episodes. If I had to pick some favourites out of this season, I think I would probably choose Scatty Safari, Lighthouse Keeping Loonies, and Bunfight at the OK Tea Rooms. And I think if pushed, I would say my all-time favourite out of this season is Bunfight at the OK Tea Rooms. If I had to pick a least favourite episode from this season, I think I would choose Wacky Whales, just because I didn't really connect with the sort of sporting theme of that one. But really, it's hard to pick, a best or worst episode of this season, because they are all strong episodes. Thank you so much for sticking with me through season 5, and I hope you'll join me next time when we move on to the Goodies special, Goodies Rule OK. I hope I'll see you there.